What is up, ladies and gents? Noli here. Welcome to another Payday 2 video. Today we are taking a look at the brand new character pack DLC that came out today, the Sydney character pack. Apologies again for the little break in between videos. I've had 3 of my exams already. I've got 1 more to go, finishing on the 23rd of May. It's just been a slightly stressful time, and obviously a time where I have to dedicate a fair amount of my free time to working. So Payday and everything else on YouTube has fallen by the wayside again just for a brief while, but there's definitely time in between these 2 exams for me to take a good long look at the Sydney character pack, which is exactly what we're going to do right here. As ever, I like to start things off by taking a look at Overkill's released webpage. It's a stylish presentation of exactly what we're getting in this DLC. And ladies and gents, if you stick around for my next video, there should be details of a giveaway for this character pack if you're interested in all that it offers, but you don't have the money to pick it up. And of course, it's retailing at $3.99 in British pounds and $4.99, I believe, in US dollars. So let's move on down to take a look at Sydney. This is a character we've known about for a very long time. I believe all the way back at Crime Fest, we knew we were getting an Australian female heister. We met the voice actor, I believe, for her, but I swear she didn't look like this. Normally, the characters have a certain likeness to their voice actors, but not here. Not here at all, at least not from what I remember. This character is an incredibly unique design, and actually, I'll be honest, I'll go on a limb and say I quite like it. I especially like her suit design, her rolled up sleeves, her tattoos. I don't know all about her Sonic the Hedgehog mohawk or her sideburns, but you know, it's different and it's almost stylized, which isn't something you see a lot in Payday. I feel like a lot of the other characters, visually with their masks off, just look like people. You know, the stylization comes from the mask, but this character is stylized in and of herself. Let's have a click of this video. This came out a couple of days ago. We're not going to have the music on or anything. In fact, let's turn the music on this webpage on, please. There we go. But as you can see, this was revealed, the new mask that came with her and the new primary weapon we're going to receive. And of course, I'm going to be able to get into a little more detail about that later on. So the Sydney character pack introduces the wild, raging, uncontrollable, badass Aussie Sydney. It also includes Sydney's mask, the anarchist perk deck, the wing melee knife, and the bootleg SG416C assault rifle. So first and foremost, as ever, the most important part of every DLC, at least as far as I am concerned, is the perk deck. It's well worth watching this spotlight. It's done by Elmir. It's very nicely and concisely edited, and I guess it's going to go into a little more detail than I am able to about each and every one of the perks. But I think as an overview, I can give you, it's essentially a grinder for armor. It involves the giving up of health for additional armor. At the max perk rank, you're actually able to regenerate armor by shooting and killing enemies. That's massive. I really like the sounds of that, and I think especially the fact that you can regenerate armor while you're still getting hit and you are in combat, it's going to allow for this very aggressive playstyle that Grinder opened the door to. But of course, Grinder's so focused around dodge builds that it's a different kind of aggression, isn't it? It's a calculated aggression that I think maybe the anarchist perk deck is going to be a slightly less calculated but maybe more enjoyable aggression that just involves you getting up in the face of as many enemies as possible and spreading as quickly as possible. We see another screen of her in the background. You get a glimpse of her mask there. Now, the mask is actually the weakness, I feel. Obviously, it's an aesthetic design. I can't be like, don't get this character pack because I think the mask looks rubbish, but I'm not a massive fan of it. I actually prefer her unique other design. Of course, her gloves are also unique and different, and you see how different her melee weapon is from things we've seen before, and I think this is the way they should go as we move on over. In fact, the Anarchist perk deck, as basically what I've just said, is all about taking the punches and still keeping handing out lead to everyone who's hungry without the player being forced out of combat. The Anarchist sacrifices health for armor and also leeches armor from enemies by doing damage. As I was saying, the melee weapon is unique, not in its stats as we see in the top left hand corner. You're just looking at very standard light knife weapon stats, no different to a lot of the ones we've already seen in game. Fast swinging, relatively low damage, and relatively high concealment. It seems like a shame that it's not at 30. This seems like a very concealable weapon. I don't know whether that's for balance reasons, but hey. This knife is called Wing, and the uniqueness and the fun you're going to get out of this is from these sweet animations you see there. The butterfly knife animations that I don't know whether they're idle animations she does or whether they're things you'll do every time you charge the knife. That is probably what it is, thinking about it, just from watching this. The screen down there, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried it out just yet, but I'm a fan of that. I really am. If you're struggling to diversify your melee weapons numerically, make them cool, and that's what they've done here. Very Spy out of TF2. Wing is the name of Sydney's melee knife. It's a butterfly model made by Burger, which she never leaves home without, as it has saved her life more times than she can count. Those who know her also know the story of how she got it from another gang leader. Got it from his throat. So people seldom mess with her when she whips it out. Wing is a nifty little thing and Sydney loves showing off her skills, and everybody knows that when Wing starts flapping, chaos will come. Cool melee weapon. I'm a fan of the way they decide to go about differentiating it. Now for the primary weapon, it's also quite unique. So hats off to them. We're not just getting some very standard weapons in this character pack. And I do actually think they've done a half-decent job of synergizing the weapons we see here with her perk deck as well. This hybrid LMG assault rifle we see here is going to be ideal for the aggressive sort of build you're going to want to run with the Anarchist perk deck. It's worth mentioning before I just go into great detail about this assault rifle that depending on which version of the game you're playing, whether you're playing the beta version of Payday with all the beta skills or whether you're playing the old skills, the Anarchist perk deck will undoubtedly play differently. I, for one, am going to test it out without the new skills because I feel like looking at it on its own as a raw perk deck is going to be the best way to, I guess, value its worth, especially compared to other similar perk decks like Grinder that does the opposite thing with health. But anyway, this is the Bootleg, I believe it's called, manufactured in Europe over 8,000 miles from Australia. The SG-416C managed to travel from a German soldier via a black armed smuggler to some rogue rebels in the jungle, all the way back to a back alley behind a gas station not too long from downtown Melbourne. Dirty goods and dirty money were exchanged, and Sydney got this piece of bullet-spewing assault rifle equipped with an LMG drum mag. But as soon as Sydney laid her hands on it, it ceased being an SG-416C and became Bootleg. So as you can see, it's not a normal weapon. It has been equipped with these massive magazine, these drum mags, as you see, resulting in over 100, or exactly 100 bullets in the magazine. Top left up there, total ammo only 200 though, so you only have 2 full mags. The rate of fire is looking quite good, damage quite good for that sort of assault rifle LMG hybrid. I think those stats are all quite nice, unique, and actually relatively high concealment for such a bulky looking weapon. And I'm very excited in particular to try this one out. And as I said, I do like the way it would appear at first sight to synergize with its own perk deck. It looks very powerful, as you see down there in the left hand corner. As I've already mentioned, the mask is the weakness, I feel. You know, it'd be ridiculous to say that you shouldn't buy it because of the mask, but I'm not a massive fan of this character mask, just personal preference. The pointy nose is a wee bit silly. The colours are quite nice, and I guess the stars are somewhat representative of the Australian flag, but I don't know. Sydney's all about pure destructive mayhem. They are the colours of the Australian flag, aren't they? And beating the system to a bloody pulp, begging for its own life. Like a havoc-wreaking jester, she wears her mask with a proud smirk that says, "I'm beating you just for fun." Also, if you dare to laugh at her pointy nose, she'll thrust it in your eyeball. At least they tried to explain away how pointy that nose is. But yeah, I do like her design underneath the mask a little more than the mask we see right here. The weapon, melee, and perk deck, of course, will make up for it, and I hope you guys are as interested as I am in this DLC. I do think that the character packs have steadily improved since they started to come in. I guess in some way it's been cheapened by the fact there's just so many characters in Payday now, but this one is a unique one. I would definitely say stylistically she's very unique, and definitely her voice. She's going to be so polarizing with a voice like this. You're going to love her or you're going to hate her. Because, let's be honest.
This is a fucking slaughter!
It's a bit annoying. Just a little bit. I don't know. She's got such a thick, unbelievably thick Australian accent. Now, Clover has a very thick Irish accent, and lots of people love Clover's accent, me included. And I actually do quite like the uniqueness of Sydney here, but I do think some people are going to get real fed up. It's going to be like the so-called whistle, you know, it just grates certain people's gears. But that's, you know, that's the way it works. I think the voice actor's actually done a fairly good job with this one, and it's good to see they've actually got, you know, some proper Australian voice acting in there, as they did for the Japanese character, of course. So that's it. It is out now. Payday 2 Sydney Character Pack. As I said, $5. Pick it up if you're interested in it for that price, or if you want to wait a day. Tomorrow I should be bringing out the details to a competition. It's going to be a brief competition. I'm going to give away some copies of the Sydney Character Pack for you guys to enjoy yourselves and get some good use out of this new perk deck, melee weapon and primary weapon. Yeah, I'm very excited myself. I'm going to render this video as quickly as possible so I can get on there and try her out. And we'll see if people in my lobbies are getting as annoyed as I think they may be from our new Aussie friend here. It's also good, again, something I didn't really touch on an awful lot. Another female heister, leveling the balance somewhat. And a real badass looking female heister as well at that. So hats off to Payday. I think the design's been very well done here, and this is, in my opinion, without playing it, one of the character packs I've been most excited for. So without further ado, guys, I'll see you guys later on tonight, maybe early tomorrow, bringing you some Sydney gameplay, showing off the new weapon, melee, and perk deck, of course, most important things. And then again, stick around for the competition if you're interested. And I think that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents, and I will see you all in the next one. Just to reiterate, I finish exams on the 23rd of May, so after then I'll have an absolute ton of free time, 4 months to be precise. So I imagine I'm going to go on a big old grind of the old YouTubes there to try and push Payday along, especially with the brand new skills coming out and being finalized around about that time. Excited for all that. And of course, I'll see you guys then.